There we have it, folks. The anthem is complete. There we have it. The anthem's officially over. And just taking a look here at our Georgian under-18 team, obviously the front row battle is going to be key to this game. The set piece, Georgia really built around it. It almost looks like the South African game model is the kicking game. Strong set piece, strong line out into the contestable kicks and trying to put pressure. So Hooker Kamaragilidze is going to be key to that. And then, of course, in terms of the box kicking, Konolidze as well. And, of course, a lot of familiar sounding names here. Makaradze as his compatriot as the halfback. As mentioned in terms of the England side, so already tight-head Lawrence Ogbanyana has played for the England under-19 team. He's playing an age group up. Karsak, Sonny Good and Oscar Talbot, all very, very proficient players. And then, of course, there's the twins in the backline, albeit only Josh McIntosh is playing in this game, one of the two twins. So it will be England that will be kicking off in this game. And we are kicking off. Talbot with the restart, lovely lofted kick there. Immediately pressure by England, who've regained the turnover here. My co-colleague Kennedy Simba will be speaking to us briefly in a moment about transition, I can promise you that, but it is England on attack, straight away onto the front foot from the restart and applying the first pressure within the game. Good asking questions around the fringes. England probing deep here into the 22. Fantastic early pressure and control of the ball here. Being held up before the line is Ogobanyana. Tackler said, referee saying release, surely a penalty advantage coming here. If not, just centimeters from the line. Barnstorming run, double tackle by Georgia. That's fantastic defense. Keeping it narrow, England. Fantastic patience here from the restart, winning the transition. Held up over the line is the captain. This fantastic defense here from Georgia, but how much longer can they last? And it is a penalty against. So it was England who applied the first pressure there. Kennedy Simba, my co-commentator. Kennedy, England with a fantastic start there from transition, from the kickoff, won the turnover straight away, found themselves in a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, you are talking my language if you're talking transition, but it has been an interesting start, and there the clearance, a really good clearance, finding that halfway mark. Yeah, that could be encouraging for his team.
Could have been so different there, Kennedy. Could have been a 7-0 scenario, and now all of a sudden Georgia found themselves up to the halfway line. A little bit out of danger there. Fantastic opening intent from England, really impressed with that. England with the contest there, winning it back. Good on to 8th man, Bray. England going to width, a little bit half-paced here, but still they found space on the edges. That's their second transition in 2 episodes here, Kennedy. Could be the name of the game today.
Certainly is.
So it is good here. Probing kick, he's looked for space, hasn't found it, and the mark is called.
And that's a good option there. Just trying to, sort of, I suppose, trying to get a feel of the game. It is, of course, under 18s. The minds are obviously of different nature. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of mindsets these two teams go into. As the referee is just indicating some crucial information here.
So what the penalty? Yeah, I didn't see what the infringement was. Unfortunately, we've missed the hand signal. Talbot, though, will get his team in opposition. Sorry, his team into the opposition 22 for their second visit in all of 2 minutes 45. There's no wind today, so it's certainly not a factor, Kennedy.
It certainly isn't. Looks like they're opting for that 6-man line-out. Already a bit of timing issues, and that's to be expected. Of course, you know, these players being selected from different schools and different clubs. So timing could be an issue there. It wasn't great line-out.
Taken by Charles in the line-out. England surging forward here. Good contest there by Georgia. Is this holding? Is that a tackle? Is the maul officially over? Referee says play on. Slow ball here for England. They're going to have to try and regenerate again. Georgia with a double tackle. Quick onto their feature. Ogobanyana again. Second ball carry in the game. A little bit loose here, Talbot. Georgia's making good tackles, but it is England who found themselves, if not over the line, certainly held up. Yep, try is awarded there. No, we're going to pen the decision here. Yeah. I'd say first decision on field try.
Try, certainly. And that's good movement there by England to be able to come back to the blind side, and good hands just to get the winger away. And of course the referee is just gonna check through a certain TV advisory, but I'm not sure if it is going to be there. But here's a replay. Just look at that powerful handoff. But it was good defense here by that winger, who was able to just get under him. Really good defense there, and the referee could have been in better positioning, I would say, but I suppose there is the AR to assist there. Let's see where this call is going to go.
It's a big carry by Karsak there, the 8th man. Also some good hands to get the ball away. It looked like a good defensive set. Georgia had defended them all, brought it to ground, all bodies on feet. They followed it up with a double tackle again, bouncing to their feet, 15 guys all ready to defend. And then England short hands down the blind side, and Karsak with a big run. And now we just wait to find out if he's grounded. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get the replays.
No.
So we wait in anticipation.
And of course, referee saying that, it wasn't clear. Touchdown, but it is a penalty, of course. And they've decided to go for the quick tap. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of maneuver they work here.
Oh. Luckily, Talbot's managed to get away, but he sold his tight head down the river. Repeat infringement there, above the horizontal. We don't say that an awful lot these days, Kennedy. It's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. But they're going to try. Second time is the charm.
Another carry here from England. Some fantastic leg cut tackles, if you like, from Georgia, preventing all momentum. This time they're opting to go through the back. England with space. Surely this should be the one. And it is the youngster, Tumasimi, who is compared to Noah Kalori of Saracens.
Yeah,
really making a name for himself, having spoken to Mark Mappletoft, the England under-20 coach.
It certainly looks like it. He's got the height for it. But he was put away. Great hands and a great option here by England to perhaps loosen it up and just get it through the back's hands. The forwards had tried and it just wasn't seemed to be going right. But it was good for them to be able to get wide. And just look at this option. Wide pass. Yes, it was bounced to the ground, but he was able to just dot it in, enough space created from his inside players.
Well, yeah, there's two ways of looking at it. You could say the England forwards were very good in terms of creating space, but they certainly weren't crossing the line. Their legs were being cut out from underneath them.
And you really got to admire that backdrop. It looks stunning there. Belleville in Cape Town.
Talbot with a conversion attempt. Like he's pitching wedge, he's got it over the line, landed it on the green perfectly there, Kennedy. So it is first blood to England, duly converted by Talbot, and it is 7-0. All the pressure so far, all England from the get-go.
Yeah, certainly, and they were able to just dot down. It is Durbanville. Correction, we are watching this game. Really good game so far. England leading 7-0.
Well, this is the first time that Makaradze is going to touch the ball.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it's 7 minutes into the game. Georgia just defense at the moment. Certainly valiant in that effort, but they're going to need to get their hands on it. Cross the halfway line. This will be the first time.
Yeah. So we won't discuss the territory stats anytime soon, won't we?
Territory and possession is unfortunately full house for England at the moment. In fact, it's a record I doubt they can sustain for the rest of this match. Lovely contestable kick there by Georgia. Bouncing ball, a little bit scrappy. Tyler's duly gathered the scraps there. Anticipate the box kick coming here from England. So there's been a shift in the way England have played, having observed them since 2022. They were really pushing the running game with the 1-3-2-2 shape. But now a little more pragmatic in recent seasons, has JP Pendlebury. Contestable from them. Knock back. Still England in possession, back into Georgian territory. Georgian defence very narrow here, Kennedy. They could find themselves in a bit of trouble if the ball comes out the back, and does. England passing not as fluid as they would have liked, but certainly keeping momentum. Good contest there from Georgia over the ball, slowing it down. This time it's Talbot who's having a go himself, the fly half. Pop pass. Obanyana unfortunately slipping. And it is again Tumasimi, the try scorer. Great presentation by the right winger. England creating nice width from the touchline, giving themselves two-sided attack. Unfortunately, the hooker there alone getting held up. Lots of space being presented here. England are capitalizing it, and it is a second score in succession. And yet again, Georgia have not had the ball.
Yeah, it has been a tough start here for Georgia, but a wonderful try by England. And you can just see the joy and celebrations from his teammates there. There's Charles Morgan. And just a wonderful line here hit by the fullback. Again, just against the grain. He identified the space and he was absolutely elated by being able to cross over for his first try.
Well, let's go back to the origin of that try, Kennedy. It was the contestable kick. England with the contestable, win the transition, win the scraps, the imbalanced state that where Georgia were in, and then they played through the back. A little bit slow initially, got it to the right wing. It was the initial try scorer, and then from there again, transferring the pressure to the other side of the field. Georgia defending very narrow at the moment. They're going to have to adjust. Unfortunately, the scoreboard and the current state of affairs could grow.
Could be bleak, because they've just managed to be able to get on the outside of those defenders. Like you mentioned there, James, they are tight in defense, are Georgia, and England doing exceptionally well, just being able to get the ball behind that pack of forwards. There's the line there. As he hit it right on the mark and dots it down. A brilliant try here by England.
Fantastic go forward rugby by England. Morgan, the try scorer, converted by Talbot to take us to 14. More points than minutes at the moment in this game. I very much doubt the Georgians will be deflated though. A little bit soft underfoot today, the conditions, as you would expect in the Western Cape this time of year. And then again, it is Makaradze. This time Georgia winning the transition, the scraps at the the contest in their first possession. Kennedy, can they fire a few bullets here? Burley tight head onto the ball. Fantastic leg drive. Nice air clean. Unfortunately, a bit scrappy at the base there for the scrum half. Lids there struggling there. Nonetheless, some reward for Georgia there. Nice contestable kick.
Yeah, finally a bit of territory with possession here for Georgia.
So unfortunately there for Georgi Berichvili. Fantastic carry by him. Good second effort. He made a few meters there, post-contact meters. Good aerial breakdown as well. The arriving players latching on, driving him forward. Hopefully he's going to be okay. He does have a very traditional prop frame about him.
He does have indeed. And it's going to be interesting. I think that's the area that they, I suppose, would have targeted and said, listen, this is what our strengths are. It's probably part of the DNA of the Georgians. We know for a number of years it's been a focus area. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see an early injury. Perhaps they wouldn't want their tight head to go down so early. And it seems like it's just a bit of a strapping issue there.
Maybe unbeknown to our viewers, but Georgia is a mass producer of props, particularly in the French League's top 14 and Pro de Deux. Literally every team has themselves a Georgian prop. Their currency is high, and they certainly specialize in what they do. Well, speak of, let's see.
Let's see. Here
Scrum time.
It is.
Huge height advantage there for England. You can see their middle five there.
Oh.
That line out is significantly taller.
Great height there. Some real line out options for them.
So 12 minutes in, first scrum of the game, and it is Georgia with the feed. Condoleezza with the feed. Yep, decision coming there. It did look like the England tight head had dropped his bind. It is Georgia who having the first nibble. Level change in the middle attack there. Same way, playing nice and quick. For she might be a little bit light on numbers. Both wingers combining to keep the ball. Condoleezza changing direction here. Very good in the collision are Georgia. Looking to grab a few meters in the contact. We don't see that every day. 10 playing 9 on the inside. England with great breakdown pressure here. Very slow for Georgia. It's going to be hard to generate momentum. Second ball carry here for our tight head prop. Snipe this time. A little bit of indecision here. Georgia having to change direction, but that white wall is looking very strong. The England defenders very balanced in their spacing. Georgia a little bit fortunate here. They weren't generating much momentum, so it's England in discipline that's hurt them.
Yeah, and that could be an area that Georgia is going to want to focus on, because, I mean, they just went through about 6 phases. They were no real gain line advantage, and that's an area that they will have to look at that closely as we look at the yellow card for the Georgian player as they advance towards that 22, their first 22 entry.
First 22 entry, and I think they're going to have to be quite creative in their movement. If you have a look at the height differential between the locks and the England locks and back row, significant height here. England don't look like they're going to go up. A little bit slow. Good punch by the Georgian maul there, and a penalty advantage. Surging towards the line here if they can stay patient. England regrouping. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize there. Georgians will take great heart out of that. I think England went a little bit non-committal with that line-up. They were going to go up and they didn't really, and then they lost the punch on the ground as a result.
And it's a good opportunity here for Georgia. It's just five meters out from that try line. A great line-out option.
Again, front ball, safest thing for Georgia at the moment. So the maul is set. Great pressure here from Keys at 5 for England. Second infringement, looks like it's good, and a try for Georgia. Fantastic from a contest perspective. It is Gramakzile who has scored.
Oh,
you're going to have to forgive me some of these surnames, folks.
Certainly will have to.
We're going to run with it.
We're going to run with it. No, certainly. But that's a brilliant try here by Georgia. And just them being able to advance through double penalties, and that's resulted in an opportunity that's given a line out just 5 meters out. And again, we spoke about the strength of the Georgians up front, and there it is being shown.
Interestingly, taking the ball both times or two. Yes, there was a bit of movement, a bit of a spin on the second attempt there, but with England height, they can afford to just put someone up at two here. And I think sometimes that's where teams need to adapt. You've got your set plan, and they call it their systems, but realistically,
perhaps look at what's being played in front of you, and allow the players to be able to react to that. It's about recognizing what lies in front of you.
Certainly with the amount of height at England's disposal, you think some sort of pressure in the air if they are going to commit to that sort of strategy. But nonetheless, it is 14 plays 5. Georgia on the scoreboard.
Alexandra
Kamkralize. Also a traditional hooker frame there.
Yeah, they do have a perfect frame to do these Georgian front rowers.
Talbot with the restart. Fantastic contestable kick. Scraps galore. Bit of a scramble, and it is England who've won yet again. 2 restarts, 2-1. Good sniping on the short side. He's chosen the wrong side in terms of numbers. He's going to have to resource his own breakdown. Is the try scorer here. Karsak. Big run from Karsak. Talbot. Nice pullback pass here from England. Through the middle. They've got numbers here, but Georgia drifting well. England taking space, keeping the ball alive. It is the try scorer again, Morgan. Keeping the ball narrow. Owenyana offload just before the line. England here in control. It is the narrow spaces. Georgian defense in close quarters is fantastic. Owenyana this time having a go himself. Georgian tackling technique, a fantastic example of how to defend your try line, but the try is scored by England. And yet again, fantastic on transition, Kennedy. Hats off.
I tell you, they certainly are capitalizing on every opportunity that they are getting, England, and it seems like one of their main sources of possession is the transition. So it is well taken. And as you mentioned, the Georgians defending exceptionally well around those rucks to be able to get yet another try.
Unfortunately, that defensive expertise doesn't lend itself into the wider channels. It's all the narrow stuff, close quarters.
Yeah, backs and forwards need to have real defensive discussions about how do we able to just balance out, because it seems like just one backdoor pass or an extended pass that's really putting the Georgians under pressure out wide. And the kick, unfortunately, just veers to the right-hand side there. So the score is sitting at 19 points to 5, with England under 18s leading as we approach the 20-minute mark of this first half.
Just the guys that are really starting to stand out in this England side. Obviously, 8th man there, and try scorer Karsak. He's been very good. 15, Morgan also been really prominent. Those two guys in terms of pressure points. Here's a replay of that score. Again, Owenyana, he gets upended, but they show space on the short side. Great awareness from England, and it is the pivot Talbot who gets over the line. So he's got a nice haul of points at the moment. 9 of those going to him. England clean on the restart this time. England in a very commanding position. I want to expect them to become more fluid. They're going to run from the get-go here. They've got scoreboard pressure. It is again Morgan taking the space. Gets the hands through. It is Tumasimi down the right-hand side. Yeah, unfortunately he's very loose, but it doesn't matter. Saved by Charles. Great continuity here from England. England really rampaging. One-man ruck, quick ball here. Again through this middle pod. They haven't carried in the middle yet. And it's Tumasimi who's popped up on the left-hand wing. Working coast to coast. What a try, England.
Talk about 15-man rugby, and that's exactly what England have done. That was brilliant. Talk about continuity at its best. It's just understanding and making sure that every ball is controlled, whether it's off the ground or the slip pass. Look at that. Almost got knocked on there. But he was way out on the other side of his wing. The early try scorer.
Yeah, let's speak to the work rate there of Tumasimi. He carried on the right-hand wing on the initial line break, and has worked all the way to give the advantage, the numerical advantage there on the left-hand side, popping up, cutting the line, giving the offload. But the England ruck speed was very good. 1 man breakdown, 2 second ball. Talbot certainly getting some kicking practice in this game.
Yeah, it is starting to build up the score, but he's not striking that ball. Possibly the wind could have a factor here. You can see the flag poles just behind in the kicking poles there. Seems to be kicking against the wind.
Talbot's certainly growing into this game now. He's varying the pressure points in the game.
Really has had some good touches, and just being able to identify how to mix the balance between the backs and forwards, especially when there is unstructured play there.
I think one of the things that Georgians need to look out for, this middle group of forwards that's England's, they're just pulling the ball back.
Yeah.
They're purely there for deception, and Georgia are staying to make the tackle of the second pass, and as a result, they're getting carved on the outside. Deep kick this time from Georgia. Short side attack here, unfortunately, trying a little bit too hard, gives Georgia, unfortunately, was there 2 knocks? Yes, there was.
Yeah, a double knock there from Georgia, but an interesting option there from England, trying to just probe on the blind side. Not quite having the timing, trying to get that basketball type pass. Didn't really come off, and it gives Georgia now a second opportunity. I mean, they've had 1-22 entry so far, and been able to come away from it with 5 points. What are they going to do from the scrum? Last scrum they got from their own feed in, they got a penalty. So I'm sure they'll be trying to just exert that pressure again.
Yes, it was Ogbanyana who collapsed and gave the penalty away, the England tight head. I'd love to see the stats of the size mismatch between these teams. As you look at it, it looks like a first team versus an under 16A side here. But I mean, I've thought over the last 2 to 3 years that the England under 18 side has actually been bigger than the SA school side. So, you know, interesting fact for the viewers out there. England have the biggest playing population in the world, so they have the most rugby players out of any country.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that with the amount of players and
well, knowing what we know about ourselves, of course, but when it comes to numbers, it is Georgia here. Fantastic skip pass there. Fortunately, outside back, fullback not really coming onto the ball. Chukwa. Slow ball yet again for Georgia. Given the mismatch, they're going to have to try and increase the tempo in this game if they're going to get some inroads. Good leg drive here from Georgia, retreating this England defence. Great spacing from the England defence here. Unfortunately for Georgia, using 3 players in a breakdown, 1 on the ground gives them 4, losing the numbers game. Round the corner comes the big tight head. Same way play. A little bit of deception here. Now we go. Here comes a bit of a pace from the inside centre. Unfortunately, he's lost the ball. England back in possession. Let's see if they're going to have a cut. Free ball here. Great line speed by Georgia. Now England going to slow it down. They're going to go back to territory. There, you can see there was some ambition on that little 2-second window, 3-second window of transition. This time it's good with the contestable kick. No, he's going long this time. Great pressure to Masimi. He's gathered, pass back inside. Massive handoff there by the fun bus. Unbelievable, Beku.
Yeah.
It's a display of size and power that.
You did mention there is a bit of a difference in size, but talk about regaining scraps and getting transition ball from a contestable kick and then being able to just get some continuity. The key for me here, again, it was some wonderful skill to be able to just regather and recognize that the ball is on the ground. That touch, for me, was magic. And of course, get on the next bus, son.
Oh, Becker could have finished himself, but the generous man that he is found his...
And he said, listen, my fly-off needs to get, his point tally up and, of course, give him an easier kick. And that's a really well-taken try here by England.
Well, Talbot with 16 of those points now. Yeah. So just to clarify for our viewers at home, number 6, well, the rest of the world outside of South Africa, for that matter, is actually the blindside flanker.
Yeah.
Great support by Beku there on that contestable kick.
that's the type of reaction that you want from your players on the outside, because it's about staying connected in that moment, and that for me is quite an important behavior that you want your players to have.
But then if we speak from a Georgian perspective, where is the support for the receiver? He's got another person in the backfield. No one has worked back from the contestable kick. You know, in that scenario when the ball bounces, his own players need to retreat behind the ball. He was man alone there, and that's how you find yourself in that situation.
But I mean, James, you would know that it is an area of the game that isn't really put a lot of focus on, and I wouldn't think perhaps the Georgians would understand how to deal with those contestable regain, frameworks. So yeah.
Well, a lesson to all coaches listening there,
exactly.
and aspiring rugby players. So it is Talbot who puts his team closer towards the half there. Good variation between looking to play and just pragmatic territory.
And it just shows you how important the kicking game, again, just getting great variety from kicking off 9 and 10.
Georgia with off the top line out the back here. This is a little bit better by Georgia. Opportunity to keep it alive here. So a slight gain line there for Georgia. England defensive spacing looks very good. It's one thing I've observed in this game, Kennedy. They look very comfortable with the ball, and they certainly look comfortable without the ball. Nice rifle pass there, this time playing off of 10. Still neutral carry. Inside ball here. This is a bit better from Georgia. Fantastic by looks like the left winger here. It's a 2 versus 1. Can they put it away? It is the scrum half. He's got a bit of jets. And it is Condoleezza who crosses the line. And you know what the difference was there? Was the winger presenting on the inside with an acceleration. If they're going to play stop-start, but there, ask the questions of the second and third defenders, inside pass.
That is it. And that's the key. Of course, the first ball carrier was able to just square up. And again, with that squaring up, you're forcing defenders 3, 2 and 3 just to just hold their drifting line. And that, again, that inside ball, there's the square up and coming inside. Again, just you catch up defender. It's quite slow. But this was wonderful timing of the pass there. He was able to just put his scrum off away at the right time, because sometimes the wrong timing of that final pass can sell the defender to drift early. So good timing there.
And also for our aspiring wingers who are watching, this is the 2 tries consecutively that have been set up by the winger coming off his line and presenting towards the ball.
Yeah. It's all about getting touches. We need our players getting a lot of touches. That's a brilliant kick. It is 2 points right off the pole.
So it is Chikua who is doing the kicking duties for Georgia. Closing the margin now 31 points to 12.
They really have been good value for their money anyway in terms of Georgia. They've had 2 entries in that half, and they come away with 12 points. Really good.
Talbot once again back in the contestable scraps yet again. England pounce on it, and that's 3 in a row for England. Unfortunately, a little bit of a knock there, but their intent and strategy around contestable restarts. They're not kicking deep, and they're not giving Georgia a soft exit.
Exactly, and that's just giving them clear ball to say, listen, take your time and get a good exit. They're good contestable kick. And of course, those 50-50s, and that's the beauty of contestable kicks. Whoever is has practiced about regaining them, the more those habits become more, favoring of luck, as you put it.
Well, more embedded, for all intents and purposes.
Exactly.
Train it, repeat, become proficient. Also, you look at that height profile there. You've got your right winger there sitting well into the 190 centimeters. Locks also closer to the 2-meter mark. Owanyana struggling for England on the tight head there. Nice pullback pass again. Georgia opting to run. They haven't had much ball, so they can afford to take a chance here. Run to kick on the right-hand side. That's a fine effort from Georgia.
Really good. And we talk about run to kick, and that was a perfect example of it. The Georgians, again, with a nice 12, option behind the back door. And that was a great pass there from the 10, just to get to his fullback on the outside of that defender, able to get good meters. And the moment the fullback came up, Morgan just pressed up in defense. They were able to put that little kick behind. Excellent strategy, and look how much territory they've gained just from that play.
And also the chance to regain the ball. Those sort of scenarios can lend themselves to scores if you're willing to take the risk of running against lesser defenders. They can't be aggressive in terms of line speed by virtue of just being in fewer numbers.
And that's the question about it, is that the exit options that are taken from teams, do you opt to go for a clear exit to get the ball out, whereas can we run first and help that backfield defense come up and give us space at the back? And that's what.
Well, a question for you: if you've got Vusi Moyo, do you not just thump it from the get-go and get there the same way?
Well, perhaps I suppose if it is outside your 22, you don't have that luxury of using that powerful boot of Moyo.
Boing! This England back row, Karsak again, another momentum carry, not held in the tackle. He's imposed himself nicely in this game so far. Talbot, cut out pass, finds the fullback Morgan. Now is that spend a little bit of time in the naughty boys chair?
I think so. Certainly is going to be up for review. The referee is going to just consult with AR.
A little bit of indecision here.
He seems to be just be nodding and saying, yeah, I'll go with what you're going to call.
But then, and so this is what I want to know. When is it yellow and when is it not? Because if he catches that, can he score?
Yeah, so yeah, he can score. If he catches it, he can score. The question is always, was there a defender for them covering? And I think perhaps at this level, perhaps they don't look at it in that way.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see bums on seats, so I wasn't really keen for the yellow, but just asking for a friend. Why is it sometimes yellow?
Asking for a friend. Yeah. And with the height that England have in these lineouts, you'd expect them to have some real dynamic lineout options and moves.
Outside shoulder, unfortunately. So Georgia getting into the air.
Yeah.
That's why they can get the scrum. Had they not made an attempt to get in there, even over the shorter line out, just get someone up, putting this pressure alone under a bit of the hooker, alone under a bit of pressure. So the set piece for England, you would say, is certainly the work on.
Yeah, it certainly is. And we've seen their scrum already struggling, and now there's the line out. You can see them grabbing it on the outside shoulder there. Great call by the referee, but they haven't really dominated at scrum time. But we do know that's one of the strengths of the Georgians. But as we approach the first quarter of this first half.
Well, Georgia ran this last play.
Yeah.
Got great inroads for their troubles.
Scrum, of course, is on the 15-meter mark. An advantage being played.
So free roll of the dice here for Georgia. Opting for the front door option here. They've got the penalty advantage. If anything, I think it's only a matter of time unless they can find themselves. Here's the pullback pass. Up for the cutout pass. I was waiting for the penalty. Still waiting.
Yeah. Not much going on for Georgia in terms of advancing past that gain line. Again, look at the scrum. Referee, I suppose, just interesting call there.
Yeah, I think it was in fact Mira Bashilvi. Who was
perhaps was under pressure there.
Guilty party on that occasion.
And these penalties are starting to just keep the Georgians in this game, and they've been able to capitalize anytime they've made ground into the England half. So it is an area that I suppose the England coach would have to have a discussion with them, that these double penalties are sort of really giving some encouragement to the Georgians.
Well, it's just that compound effect. They lose the line out, they get the scrum from the scrum, they give the penalty away. Now they're back in their third. Georgia very efficient with their conversion rate of entries to scores. Nice carry as the Georgian tight end here. The pullback play here on the short side. Good defense from England. Georgia maintaining pressure here, this time opting through the second layer out the back. Good snipe there by the centre in the midfield, finding himself against a tight forward. Georgia understanding they've got to bring some width to this game. They do have numbers, managed to keep it alive. It is the left winger who created the first score here. And it's England in discipline. Quick tap here from Georgia. That should be yellow. Cynical play by England here. Again, free roll of the dice here for Georgia. Can they get a score before the half, Kennedy?
Yeah, certainly would like to. They've tried to lift up the tempo here just to see if they can get that final point scoring, but the referee is already playing advantage. But I just love the way that they've sped it up, and there's the yellow card you spoke about there, James.
Yeah, Finn Charles there looking a bit bewildered, like he's just got detention. Certainly 10 minutes there, plus half time. He's going to need to warm that engine up before he comes back on.
For sure. And we spoke about the discipline assisting the Georgians to stay in this game, and it really is taking a swing now with only 14 men. For Georgia needs to try get 7 points on the board before that halftime mark.
It's pure English and discipline because their defensive spacing is so good, their line integrity is so good. They just need to avoid silly contests for the ball, which ultimately has got Georgia on the scoreboard here. So a man up Georgia here. I don't know if they still would have the weight advantage. 8 on 7, might be parity. This time England staying down. Very few committed to that maul stop of England. Literally 6 versus 4. Allowing Georgia to get some momentum here. Winger joining in. Fantastic decision there. And it is a score. England's maul defense. So it is the set phases that they need to have a chat there about halftime.
They certainly do. It could be his second try, right?
Yeah. This is true.
Yeah, really good
you can say his name.
taking.
You can say his name this time, Kennedy.
Yeah, he really has shown some great balance there and control. What I love about him is that again, he didn't panic. A lot of times you get hookers that feel they're going forward, that they need to break away, but he just stayed patient, and that was well rewarded for Kambraglidze. Alexandra.
A little bit of an unsung hero for Georgia here, the left wing Rezi Chikadviadani. He's assisted with 2 tries. Admittedly, that was really a maul.
Yeah.
But it
was a great assist because he did come and have his impact and was able to assist there. That's a good kick, really good kick, and you can see there the wind is really certainly behind the Georgians.
Interestingly, the game is carrying on, so we're at 38 minutes, but obviously we're playing stop-start here.
Yeah, we are. So 31 points to 19. England under 18 leading here as we approach the halfway mark of this match.
Fantastic aerial skills there by Tumasini. Wow.
Tumasini has really looked really impressive, just aside of his work rate, just the skill touches. Really.
I mean, that vertical jump there, that was a beautiful sight.
Showcasing his skills, even though you knew there was nothing going on. It hasn't gone 10.
Let
me just show you guys what I do have. I won't be surprised if he has played basketball or so, or volleyball.
So I've heard of this new term with the youngsters these days, aura harvesting.
Oh, okay.
So look at me. So that was a bit of aura harvesting, aura farming. I can't remember which one. It's a bit of aura something going on.
We'll find out which one it is. Yeah. So another scrum here for the Georgians. They've already been awarded 2 penalties from the scrums now, have Georgia. Of course, they are a man up from the England team that was obviously going to try just get to that halfway mark with the score staying as it is.
So what you have is the Georgian 8th man, because under 18 rules, he's joined the back line to preserve the 7 versus 7 contest.
Yeah. So after us, giving our flowers to the Georgian scrum, they've removed 1 player, and it just seems that it's gone down. But an interesting decision here from England to be opting to go for kick for poles. Yeah, it's an interesting kick, especially when you felt that the wind was sort of coming against right into that England half.
So it is a 40-minute half, I wonder if there is some confusion in and around the timekeeping. Obviously not if we're going 7 on 7 scrums. 5 minutes of stoppages. Of course, we had the TMO. We've had an injury. Long ranger here.
No.
This time Georgia with the long kick. That's the first time they've done that, sticking it long
Yeah.
down the field. But Morgan's had enough. He says, I've got to try to my name.
Yeah, let me go in.
England go in 31 points to 19. A compelling performance by them in the first half. Great exhibition of transition and running rugby.
Oh, yeah.
Conversely, Georgia certainly efficient in terms of their 22-meter entries. Stick around for us for the second half, folks, where England lead 31 points to 19.
You see me when I turn? No. Only 9 there, but I'll let you know. Because I was going to say, I can move the camera more this way. Okay, yeah. I don't think they're getting their reps though. So you see on the audio input, that audio input, I changed that on that side.
And a warm welcome back to the second half here of our second international in the Under-18 International Series. It is England playing Georgia 31 points to 19. England starting the game with their intentions, winning transition of the first contestable kick, a number of possessions. In fact, at one point at 10 minutes in, Georgia hadn't touched the ball yet. Kennedy, compelling first half of different styles.
Yeah, a really interesting first half. Of course, Georgia done exceptionally well in terms of just getting momentum whenever they were given penalties and entries into that England half, and were able to come away from there with 19 points, and again not having to play much territory and not having much possession. And that again, we had to put those stats up, somebody would be saying, it's not quite right, but what it is about, it's about executing when you get your opportunity, and that's what Georgia has done well. And in terms of England, I just love the way that they've intertwined between their backs and forwards, and again using that middle pod of 3 or 4 when it's been stacked up, and being able to just go behind that back door and just getting a bit of width, because they've seen that Georgia are defending tight, and that's what they've used to just get to those wide channels. There have been some standout performers, and of course we don't want to talk them up too early, because we want them to continue shining into that second half.
But let's just unpack that a bit further. For me, it's that excess of 8, 9, 10 for England. Karsak at 8 has been fantastic in his go forward. He is a try scorer, but he's really been punishing guys with ball in hand. Good at 9 there, combining with his Midlands compatriot Talbot at 10. Both coming from Northampton Saints and Leicester Tigers respectively. They've really been marshalling it. So on the front foot, they've been making good decisions about where to vary the pressure points. And it has been Talbot who's been playing through that middle group, like you said, of forwards. And that's been causing the damage. And then Morgan, of course, cutting the line at 15. Yeah. They've been the standouts for me.
Yeah, Talbot, of course, got a lot of similarities to Finn Smith. I know they're both at Northampton. Perhaps it is the style of fly-offs that they want to play, but again, he is directing traffic nicely. I love the way he just squares up anytime there is ball, squares up with that nice little touch out wide. We'll see how he continues in this game. Of course, I think he scored about 16 points so far in this half.
Yes.
So he's tracking quite nicely through that first half.
So it will be Georgia and Makaradze who will get us going for the second half. Just to remind our viewers at home that England do have a yellow card. Number 4, Finn Charles, with the cynical takedown of the scrum off and a quick tap penalty. And Georgia, like England, learning about that right-hand contestable corner there. A coffin corner of its own kind. And they have won the scrum. So gathering the scraps, Georgia taking notes. There's the naughty boy's chair, Finn Charles. So it'll be some 22 minutes before he comes from departing to coming. He's going to be like a starting sub.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's going to be interesting to see how Georgia try to capitalize with that man advantage. Of course, the last scrum that they had, they got a penalty given against them after winning 2 penalties themselves. So Georgia would like to just reset that balance at scrum time.
So England with 6 defenders to the left-hand side of the scrum there, ensuring there's only 1 on the right-hand side. Of course, the extra number for Georgia, because the back row has to leave the scrum to keep it 7 on 7. Nice right wheel here. Are they going to use it? Oh, that's somewhat unfortunate. To get a right wheel on a tight head is to be celebrated, Kennedy. Scrum coaches out there are going to be mortified.
Certainly mortified indeed.
A right wheel being penalized.
You know.
Gee.
I think many referees would have said play on, ball is out, let's go. Yeah, look at that.
That's to be celebrated. It is so hard for a tight head to win against 2 players.
Yeah, for sure.
It's scrappy from the England line out here. They have regained the ball. good. Finds Owanyana. Great carry by the tight head prop. Fantastic leg drive. Good early arrivals there from England, changing to the short side. It is the captain here. Surging run, he's got big boots to fill. Henry Pollock once been in that role some 3 years ago. Oh, unfortunately for the referee there. Has she left play to carry on? She has. Is that, not sure if that's by the letter of the law, but we carry on nonetheless. Some fancy footwork here by the Georgian 7. This is a fantastic run. Not held in the tackle. Second effort from him. Dispatched on the second occasion. Georgia looking a little bit uncertain here, not knowing what to do with the ball in their 22. I think downtown would be a little bit more sensible. Ball is trapped here. I think our poor officials are a little bit shaken after combating the Georgian Rivals. It was actually Ogbanyana, the tight head. I would also be a little unsettled. Fantastic long raking kick here by Georgia. Nice inside pass. Morgan presenting. This is great counter-attack from England. Out the back yet again. I don't think the forwards have actually carried yet, other than 2 meters from the line. Finding the danger man, Tumasimi. Unfortunately, hands on the ground, their hands in the ruck. Wow, look how big Keogh is. Biko, the blindside flanker for England. It's an impressive frame.
Some big size in that England pack. But what I love here, just get them again being able to get the ball out wide, and real understanding that there is space and they can make some good meterage out wide, especially when Georgia wasn't quite sure what they wanted to do. It's probably the first time they've had a bit of possession in their own 22. Not quite sure how to create that exit, but this has resulted in having to now defend just 7 meters out from their own try line.
Just turn your attention to number 5 for England, Jeremy Keys. He is a large human being as well. Overthrow here from England. That's wasteful. Opportunity for Georgia here in the transition. Are we still playing? Yes, we are. This time they've opted for the run to kick that we spoke of in the first half. It makes its way over the line.
And that's the beauty about transition again. You get your line out incorrect, that's what you find yourself back in your own half. And that's what we always encourage, again, run to kick. It's always a great option, especially when you've got your backline players that are able to adjust from that running mindset into a kicking mindset and just shifting between the two.
Up, England up for the short one to the front. Sneaky line out. Here we go. Here's a bit of go forward from the England pack. I'm enjoying their continuity skills. Ball carrier fighting to stay on the feet. Nice one out the back. They're taking at pace. Knocked backwards by Georgia. Play on. Good counter ruck here from Georgia. Absolutely fantastic. Pellet kick coming this time. Unfortunately, a little bit wayward.
Not the ideal decision there.
Good counter ruck though.
Yeah, it was. Again, that is a transition play. Again, you like them to scan a bit and just try to get some of the options of the spaces that are available in that little time frame. And it seems like England are starting to make a couple of changes.
But it does look like Finn Charles is back on the field, our yellow card recipient. Middle ball, nice tidy delivery. Again, opting for that midfield platform. This time across the face from England. Should still have numbers on the same way play here. Oh, and the bridge pass.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tight one to throw a bridge pass when you only got about 10-meter space to work in with. And it just seems to me that England really haven't found that rhythm yet in the second half. It just feels like that number of them having to play with 14 men just has sort of unsettled them a little bit. Just haven't had that great rhythm.
England adjusting at half-time, this time putting pressure at the front of the line-out. Nonetheless, Georgia have come away with it. They've won the set in terms of the ball on the ground. Unfortunately, it's only one defender who's disrupted them at maul time. 7-year Burashvili becoming prominent in the second half. Georgia look to be setting up here for the kick. This time another long contestable, and it's England with the error. Knocked backwards, says the referee, but cleaning up their own scraps on this occasion. Still England being driven back. This is good territory gain and pressure coming from Georgia. Oganyana this time hands through the tackle. Great continuity from England, finds the captain Bray. Inside pass here, and again interchangeable. Oganyana, look at the support here from the tight head prop. And it is Morgan. That's a fantastic score here.
Yeah, it is exceptional try there from Morgan, scoring his second try. But when we talk about continuity, excellence, that's exactly what you've seen there. What a try. And it came from depth. They aren't worried about running from their own half as long as people are making good decisions and keeping going forward. That was the key here. Everyone was going forward. Wonderful pop off the ground. Again, almost tackled again. And look at this back flip. Magical pass. And there to the prop. He was going to swing around to Morgan. And Morgan was able to dot it down right under those poles.
When we speak of continuity, there you have a pass between 6 different players without a completed tackle, Kennedy, and that's a prime example. The first one, pop pass from the ground, then Bray over the top, and then again linking up a second time there. And it is Morgan, fantastic follow through from the fullback to be the recipient of the last pass. Want to make a mention of the tight head there, Oganyana. What mobility. I mean, he was keeping up with his captain, open side flanker. His scrum half good.
Yeah, he was almost dancing the long arm dance there as he swung around to give that inside pass. But as you mentioned, those are excellent clips of what continuity could look like off the ground. While you in the air, a magical pass over the top of the head. They had a whole repertoire of passes there. It's an excellent clip there that Charles Morgan scores his second try.
Hats off to the England coaching staff. This time Georgia a little bit deeper on the restart. Allows for the clean exit from England. They've opted to kick infield here, interestingly. Decision time here for Georgia. Up. Unfortunately, let him down. And again, chicken wing out the back. Another offload pass here. There's definitely a message to increase the tempo here by England. Staying on the front foot. Yet again. It is the replacement lock. And again.
Well, there's no doubt what they're training at practice. It's all about offloads, and they've kept it flowing the whole time. It's a wonderful continuity play by England as they start just opening up the score gap, sitting at a score of 43 points to 19 now. As Jack McIntosh scores.
Have a look here at the replacement lock from number 19, Woolrich. Making his presence felt, and then straight away finding the outside centre, McIntosh. Big man with soft skills.
Yeah, and I suppose that's where this whole talk about having players without numbers, that's a great example there, because there's all sorts of repertoire of passes, and that just shows you that as we speak about 15-man rugby, that means everybody on any level should be able to execute a skill under pressure at any time.
And it certainly has been the focus point for England in terms of their development pathway. They're less concerned about the set piece, which is in stark contrast to South Africa. Our DNA is very much from under 18. We want to see dominant scrum, dominant line-outs. England pushing the continuity game at the expense of the set piece, figuring that they can catch it up at a later date. Obviously bearing fruit here today. Of course, we will soon find out when they play the South African under 18 team, which style will prevail.
Yeah, well, that's why this under 18 international series for 2026 has been wonderfully set. The stage has been set, and Georgia have brought their part to this game. Of course, just England's continuity game has just been a little bit too much for Georgian to handle, especially out wide, and that's where they've been cut. around the tight phases, they've been able to defend pretty well. It's just the outside channels that have really put them under pressure.
And that's a massive credit to England, because they've got a team of phenomenal athletes here, but they're using all of the field and all of the players. They're not just opting for the power game. And you could see if they wanted to, they could use it very effectively.
You've seen that size of that pack, as they often see, are trying to just work their exit plan.
Clean receipt this time on the restart. It is good. Contestable kick. Then again, Ogwanyana, and the transition yet again on the contestable kick. England anticipating the scraps. Good first arrival here from Georgia. The mobility of the England tight end is a sight to behold.
Yeah, really very mobile.
Fortunately, the receiver there, he's taken a bit of a... He actually got double tackled there after he'd fumbled the ball.
Yeah, just great sportsmanship there.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. His boot needs a bit of ice there.
Yeah, it does.
Strapping.
Strapping ice do the trick.
Maybe a wounded ego as well.
Yeah. And how do you find that she's ref the game so far, James?
Well, I think she's let the game flow, and that's really nice to see. Massive credit to our official today. Certainly hasn't been issuing penalties for the sake of it, in terms of stamping a mark on the game. And the fact that we've had to ask the question says that she's had a good game, because we haven't had to contest too many decisions there.
Yeah. We haven't talked about it, so we need to talk about it.
There we go.
Great
effort.
But allowing that continuity, and I think that's something that she's done exceptionally well.
I think the only blemish is was the tight end running into it, and there was no fault of her own. So substitutions coming here for Georgia. Nicholas Pantsalue has left the field. England will be needing stability at the scrum. They haven't had much. Here we go. This looks a lot better from the England pack. Good. Talbot into the midfield. Short ball. It's a fantastic gain line carry. Good defense by Georgia, giving away the penalty. Free play here, so they can afford to take the kick and see if there's any return.
Yeah, penalty there for one of the Georgians, not just staying on their feet around that breakdown. Again, I think what happens with the referees mostly now is that they basically are watching at every breakdown. They'll have a look at the defensive side first, then they'll flow around to the attackers. So any bodies that are not rolling away from a tackle or not supporting their weight and trying to jackal, those are the two most focused on penalties as they advance into that 22 to England.
Some fantastic headway there. Wondering if it's pupils of Durbanville or a club or a...
I wonder what's behind that.
England using Biko. This time incorporating the hook around the front. Unfortunately, a handling error. It's been missed. One must think that the ARs will come in and have.
Yeah.
Nice variation from England. This time introducing the hooker, coming around to try and give them an extra number and attack the vacuum. That's the space for our listeners at home between the line out and the backs comprising the front line of defense.
Yeah. And that's the area that most teams are trying to get into, is that vacuum. And they've done well to just put a little bit of skill pressure there, have Georgia. And there's a penalty being given again for that tip tackle. It was post the knock-on. It always confuses me, well, not always has me baffled in terms of the mere fact that I've knocked on the ball, then a tip tackle happens. If there wasn't a knock, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like, is it out of play? Is it not? So if somebody knocks on, I score a try afterward. Yeah. So it is
the nuances.
Yeah.
Of the laws of rugby. They're not rules. They're laws.
They're laws.
There's definitely some form of intervention taking place here.
Yeah, it looks like there's been some extra information that's been given from this tip tackle that the referee is going to address, and it looks like she is going for
is she reaching?
the yellow card. She has reached out for it. Yeah. There's number 6 with the offense as we have a look at this. Again, there is England attacking. There's the knock on. Player's already been stopped, but
Ooh. Penalty.
yeah, it's
The laws.
the laws, yeah.
Biko seems to be the go-to man in the line-out now. England trying to set up the maul. Georgia very good at disrupting. They've taken away the lifters there, getting access to the ripper. The big England lock replacement, Woolrich. Oh, Ogbonyana so short of the line here. Unsuccessful in the narrow quarters earlier in the game. Can England try and breach? Nope, out the back it is. Should be a score, just short again. Ogbonyana presenting yet again. He's had a number of carries on the line. Unfortunately, Georgia manfully turned the ball over. Fantastic. That's unfortunate for Georgia. Some fantastic defense from there. Certainly close to a breakdown in the 22. They are brave. Kennedy, they are brave.
Certainly are brave. And penalty being brought back for the line-out. Again, early shove there. The timing just wasn't right from the Georgians, and the referee was playing advantage.
It was
England are going to go for the quick tap and the tap play.
Ogbonyana. Good tackle fight here coming from Georgia. Loose ball for England. Burashvili has been very good in the 7 jersey for Georgia in the second half. Out the back. More changes coming in here for England. This time it's Catley, but it is the score. And again, England rolling the changes. This time the twin McIntosh will crossing the line.
Yeah, it was certainly going to come at some stage. There was a lot of pressure being put on by England. They've spent about the last 5 or so minutes in this area as Will McIntosh dots it down, but good work here from that quick tap play, and they were able to just get out wide, and there was a short pass. Yeah, it just ran out of numbers. Georgia just didn't have any defenders left.
And that's the thing, by having to defend so narrow to the ruck because of the big England power plays, they expose themselves on the outside.
Burn out the numbers.
And like a game of rock, scissors, paper there, England identifying the rock and opting for the paper.
You got to opt for one of them. That's a good, well-taken kick there from the South Pole kicker.
Scoreboard climbing now emphatically since the half. 31 points at the half, another 24 since the interval. Brings England to 55 points to 19. Georgia, unfortunately, haven't had much of the ball.
Really haven't. The score sits at 55 points to 19 as we approach the 60th minute of this game. Yeah, it just feels that Georgia have made a couple of changes now to their team. Of course, all teams are going to be playing 3 days in this under-18 international series for 2026.
So teams are allowed 12 interchanges, slightly different format to a normal game because of the extended squads, allowing the wider playing group to get chances onto the field. England with the uncharacteristic error here in the second half, unsuccessful in their clearance, find themselves back in their third.
And still to note that Georgia are a man down. Of course, with a player given a yellow card.
Five-man line out for Georgia. Good punch on the wall. England not contesting. It's a fantastic technical effort here from Georgia. Still grinding forward, looking to try and win a corner. And they have, and they've broken through, right through the middle here. Here's the replacement hooker. Fantastic footwork. That looks like a cynical offence there by the captain. Yep, penalty advantage coming. Could be a yellow there. Georgia still in possession here, going down the short side. Oh, substitutions are plenty for both teams. No advantage coming there. Quick tap here by Georgia, and it is the flanker. who has been absolutely notorious in the second half here. Baruch Favili with the score. That's a just reward for his efforts.
No, he certainly has been my player of the match from the Georgian side. He really has been abrasive, broken tackles, and he's been very, very industrious. Excellent play from him, and well deserved.
It's just what the Georgian team needed there, some tonic, get them back into this game. Fantastic initiative, quick tap there by the number 7. Conversion to come for Georgia. Fantastic conversion there. Fullback with the kicking duties earlier, Chakua. Fortunately, our try scorer is on the ground here. Look at this quick tap here again. Completely catching England off guard.
Yeah, it's clever play that.
High scoring affair here, Kennedy.
It is.
But isn't that great? That's the way rugby's shifting at the moment. Teams are getting more skillful, able to exploit defenses. There was a time when defense and kicking was dominating.
Yeah.
Kicking is contributing now towards attack in the form of the transition already exhibited in this game. England compound error. It was the long kick out that gave Georgia the field position last time. Now again on the restart.
I love that word you use there, James, shifting. It is shifting without doubt. It certainly is.
I know a guy came up with the shift theory.
Yeah,
do you know him?
I do, right? Yeah, a bit of confusion here. As the Georgians are obviously just trying to take.
They're going to take the line out.
Yeah, they're going to take the line out. I think they've decided that may be the best option. Of course, they've already scored 2 tries from driving mauls, have the Georgian under 18 team. It's just, you just feel that if they can just get a good balance, being able to just spread their defense whenever it is time, they could have a strong say in this international series.
Georgia with the maul, yep. Contestable kick. Loads of subs on now, and I think that's affected the flow of the game for England. Tumasimi, unfortunately, we've been praising. Oh no, it's not Tumasimi. We have a substitute, look-alike. Jeremiah German on the right wing there.
Yeah, 55 points to 26.
So it is, with all these raft of substitutions, Georgia have managed to take control of this little sort of block of the game. Yeah,
they have. They really have. And with that has come a scrum.
Back to the 7-man, yeah.
Into that 22 area of England.
Looking forward to the scrum battle between England and South Africa.
That certainly will be interesting, and of course I'm sure South Africa will have a close eye on how the Georgians have gone about, dealing with that scrum.
Scrum reset here. Unfamiliar blonde hair from a Georgian. Much better effort by Georgia. Fantastic square platform here by them. Replacement scrum half. Inside play. Fantastic strip in the tackle, but it doesn't matter. Georgia have regained. Onto the front foot here. Comes the replacement tight head. Again, fantastic leg drive. Georgia maintaining pressure. Close to the line are Georgia. The backs are calling for the ball. They sense an opportunity on the outside. Here comes the strike from the backs. There's a massive opportunity, and it's a fantastic score by Georgia.
Really good.
They backed themselves early. You could see the playmakers hands out saying, we've got the numbers, we've got the numbers. They kept it, but when they pulled the trigger, they certainly duly converted.
That's wonderful communication, and again, good decision making from the Georgians here. And just look at that comms from the inside center. And again, they could have opted for the long pass, but they've decided to go hand to hand, and that's what drew in the defenders, and they were able to get into the corner. Yes, Georgia certainly playing some much better rugby. You spoke about them winning this, little quarter of the second half. They certainly have done that.
Unfortunately, it looks like the try is not
Oh.
awarded. Our celebrations in
No.
vain.
What happened here?
One can only assume a forward pass.
Yeah, rather unfortunate.
Great rugby.
Yeah. They really have been industrious, have this Georgian outfit. I suppose with those substitutes, you've got players that are perhaps may be the starters coming on. You're not quite sure how teams balance it out, and it's interesting to see what strategies teams use throughout these 3 blocks of this under 18 international series.
So the Georgian scrum really stood up in the last episode. Oh, England Lou said they're losing his bind. We've had more resets now with the changes to front rows. And that's also the challenge for England. They started this game in the second half with real tempo and intent. The continuity that was on display, now they kind of sat back a little bit. And just from the players entering the field, I'm sure there's an expectation for them to maintain that that pressure, that unrelenting pressure. But kudos to Georgia here, fighting themselves back into the game. England looking to set the platform here for the exit, bringing the ball back to the short side. Typically that's to get the tight forwards in the breakdown, have more evasive runners to chase the kick. Fantastic digging out here. And a lovely exit from England.
Yeah, that's a great clearance there.
Georgia have been successful in their lineouts in the second half so far. They've set some good mauls. This time not seeing a receiver. There it is, our scrum half. Gagua. Unfortunately, yet again a skewed lineout.
Yeah.
Consistency is the official, yeah.
Yeah, it's just got to that period of the game now where it just seems like the changes have sort of just gone to that period where the game needs almost resetting because of the new personnel that has come onto the field.
Well, Safe Money says England finished with a flourish.
Yeah, it is important for the players to come on and make an impact.
And the thing about the areas is, of course, increased scrums.
Yeah, not ideal if you're a winger, of course. You spend the whole day just admiring the art of scrumming.
Well, the heavies in a nice arm wrestle. Back to 8-man scrums. All yellow cards back on the field.
Ooh.
Oh, we don't see this all the time. It is a turnover. Gagawa with the feed. Real opportunity here for Georgia against unbalanced defense. Unfortunately, the handling error, that was a real gimme.
Yeah, yet another scrum.
How often do you see that Kennedy, what do they call it? One against the head, something against the head. Tight head.
Yeah, tight head, yeah. It's, well, it does happen, but I suppose not in this context because England has generally been winning their ball.
But the alignment from the England backs was set to attack, you see, and that's that state that you want to catch them. Unfortunately there for Beridze. And now he'll be disappointed with that.
The scrum is under huge pressure here. And the penalty goes. They've decided to take a quick tap here.
Oof. Intercept unsuccessful. Barnstorming run here on the right-hand side by German. England making full use of that quick tap penalty from scrum time. Yet to cross the line from close quarters are England. Alley-oop and the cross kick. England in space. That's a fantastic score.
Yeah, it
all
is.
the way from a quick tap penalty.
And talk about identifying of space. He knew that he had to get the ball to the right decision makers with a little alley hoop.
It was the pass from the 9.
Yeah,
There was the
that's the
little
one.
basketball lob
That's
over the top. I can't pass through you.
Yeah, I'll alley hoop you. But
Fantastic score though by Archie Garver. But such was the time and space. Have a look here. There's the long alley-oop. And yet there was so much time to get the ball away in the form of the kick pass.
yeah, you got to love the kick pass. It's been a standout feature for the modern game. As the kick pass. And when done to perfection is a thing of beauty.
I feel a little bit sorry for Georgia. They've been fantastic at scrum time. They've been dominating, going backwards, going square, penalty against on 2 consecutive occasions. That score is literally a direct result of a dominant scrum.
Yeah. And they really have shown in terms of any time they've been given an opportunity, they've been able to get it. You find teams sometimes that perhaps aren't at this standard in terms of playing this much regular rugby of this level. Whenever they do get the ball, there's a lot of mistakes, but they've been very accurate in terms of their skills.
Yes.
Love the way they've passed it. They've put huge pressure at set piece and got some good reward from it. Yeah, just unfortunate there, long kick raking right into the touchline. So of course that brings England to be able to have a scrum right in the midfield, centre field.
The joy for England here is they'll always have an opportunity between running and kicking. There'll be a space presented and the onus is on those backs to identify where that mismatch is. Initially it looked like Germany was unsuccessful in catching the ball, but good decision making by the right winger. Letting it bounce.
Animation of being able to look like you're catching it, of course, just sold it for everyone.
Penalty advantage. England sweeping to the left. Great vacuum defence by Georgia. They certainly are brave, the loose forwards of Georgia.
They are. They've been extremely brave and haven't shied away from the physicality, and I think that's part of their DNA. So, like I was saying earlier on, if they can just get the balance of being able to just mix the brutality with the creativity, that is what modern rugby is ultimately about right now.
And isn't the game in a fantastic place at the moment, Kennedy? It's an absolute pleasure to watch. Just here on the tight head side there. So last time England showing a wraparound play with the hooker. Will we expect something similar here? Or do you think they're going to go for a more? The soft ground underfoot. The cramp coming. Big Woolrich leading the line out as a 5. He's a very large 5. And Biko has been the lead man in the line out so far. Again comes hook around the corner. Another big loose forward replacement this time. It's Ben Allen. Narrow to the ruck. Good folding from Georgia. Woolrich. Keeping it tighter, England. It's been a proven formula so far. Draw these Georgian defenders in and then play through the back. I'm sure the Burleys would like to get one close to the line. Still Georgia valiant on their try line. And it is the skipper this time. Fantastic effort by the captain, Charlie Bray. And that is the first time that England have crossed in the 22 close to the ruck.
Yeah, you're through the forwards. And it was done through the captain, Great continuity, Charlie Bray, in terms of just them having patience and coming around the corner. And what I love about it is just the decoy lines that of the backs that are just running in front of the forwards and creating a bit of momentum. And again, pick and go here, just around the fringes. Did well to just position himself lower than his defenders and was able to just win that height battle. Of course, the captain scores.
I think one of the challenges, Kennedy, when you start considering man of the matches is obviously with numerous substitutions, is that you know, some limited playing time for guys, but certainly from the Georgian side, in the first half, left winger there, Rezi Chekvidiani, he was popping up in prominent, 2 try assists there, but certainly in the second half, and in the right flank, Abrashvili, he's been the standout for Georgia. And then in terms of the England side, what are your nominations looking like, Kennedy?
I suppose, some good team performances. Morgan was good. He was very industrious coming from the back there. Talbot, of course, ran things right from that 10 position. And I think between those two, very impressive. And of course, the wingers have had their touches, but with the changes, it's sort of the second half hasn't been the same as the first half. So
and of course, Ogbanyana very prominent with his time in the field. Lest we forget Cossack at 8. Tough decision.
Yeah, it is one. And of course, they line out options from Biku.
Gagu with the pass. Georgia looking for a strong finish in this game. Going with the same way play around the corner. Nice change of direction here from Georgia. Good defense by England. Little bit lateral here. Comes a turnover. It is Germany who's got his hands on the ball. Does look like there's an offside penalty coming.
Yeah, the ref already been playing advantage from that line out. So I was just trying to evaluate if there was enough progress from the Georgians. And they've continued to bustle away right into the second half, and that's been impressive. Have Georgia, yes, we know the score is sitting at 66 points to 26, but they haven't sort of shied away from playing rugby.
No.
That's something that has been impressive.
The line-out certainly functioned very well in the second half, with the exception of the one skew throw. Again, nice maul. You could say they've had the better of the exchanges in terms of the maul element of the forwards. They've won the corner there. If they can stay square. Georgia's still in possession here. Actually a little bit in trouble. It looks like it could be collapsed and held up. Nope. Able to retain the ball. Gagua feeds his forwards. This is good play from Georgia. Certainly winning the height battle in terms of their collisions. Good composure. Still in possession are Georgia. Starting to run out of numbers here. A little bit isolated. Georgia going through numerous phases here. Decide to pull it out the back. Looking to go to width here. Have they found some space on the outside? England are scrambling. Good defense by England. Commentators curse and some handbags.
Yeah. Good pressure being put on here from Georgia.
Looks like our fullback has shifted onto the wing position.
The referee just bringing them back to the initial penalty. Again, not supporting your weight over that ruck. What will Georgia opt for? They've opted to go for the touchline.
It would make sense, Kennedy.
Yeah,
they've been very organised, very proficient at the ball, winning a clean ball. Nice punch, and that's the arriving players looking to get the ball going forward.
They certainly have been effective here at the driving maul, have the Georgians.
Another fantastic line out from Georgia. Looks like it's collapsed there, yes. There is a scoring opportunity here. There's very few England defenders in this maul. Great time for the backs to join. Just have to fall over the line and have done so.
Yeah.
That's a team try. When the backs join, it's no longer a forwards try, Kennedy.
Now they certainly do know how to score a driving maul to the Georgian under-18s. Fort Gallant, really good effort in terms of just staying consistent within this game. And they've been now rewarded with an excellent try. And the forwards were just patient here. They didn't panic. They stayed with it, even though England would already try to collapse the maul.
Yeah.
It just peeled off, and there was a good try there.
I think one of the takeaways for England after this game is the maul stop is just in terms of the organisation, who needs to stick their head in, who needs to watch the fringes. I don't want to preempt something here and throw my compatriot coaches under the bus, but if you're a South African forwards coach looking at that, you're going, we're coming, boys. We're coming.
Look what we have here. Yeah, so
what a fantastic series we've had so far, Kenny. And of course, coming up next, South Africa under-18 versus France under-18. Some could argue the main game of the day. It is full time here today at Durbanville High School. England under-18 with a compelling performance. Fantastic display of transition and running rugby. Continuity, buffet, offloading, popping through the tackle, earns them 66 points. Conversely for Georgia, a fantastic effort, certainly effective in their visits to the 22, walking away with 33 points. A great effort defensively, very good in close quarters. They'll be working on their spacing in the next one. Stick with us, folks, as we have South Africa under 18 versus France under 18.